Hi guys, I was scrolling through YouTube when I came across this video called The Truth About My Sister's Death by a YouTuber named Mariah Vila. I will leave a link to that video and her channel down below for you guys to check out so that you can see a kind of where this story is coming from and originated. In the video, she talks about her sister Alexis and her mysterious death. After watching her video, her story really touched me, so I decided to cover this case. I believe it is really important to keep cases like this alive and to raise awareness and give a voice for victims who may not have had one. Alexis was a young, beautiful soul with a vibrant personality. She was loved by many, as you can see in another video posted on Mariah's page called Happy Birthday in Heaven, Sis. The day before Alexis's death, Alexis went to her parents' house to get her makeup done by her sister Mariah. She had texted Mariah earlier that day and made plans to come over to get her makeup done because she was going out later that night with her boyfriend. Now, Alexis did not live with her family. She actually lived with her boyfriend at the time, and the two had been living together for 3 months. After visiting with her sister Mariah and joking around and getting her makeup done, she told Mariah that she would call her the following day, and they said, "I love you," and that was it. They said their goodbyes. That will be the last night that Mariah ever sees her sister alive. At around 10:30 later that night, Mariah receives a phone call from Alexis's phone. But when she answers it, she doesn't hear anything, just muffled noises and sniffling as though someone on the other end was crying. So when she asks her sister if she's okay, whoever's on the other end of the phone line, assuming that it's Alexis, did not respond, instead just hung up the phone. Mariah thought that was unusual, as anyone would, but she decided to wait a couple minutes to see if Alexis would call her back. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, Alexis called back.
I was like, "Hey," and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Mariah states that she felt that Alexis may have been drunk or something, just because Alexis kept asking Mariah where she was and what she was doing. Even after she repeatedly told her, she would ask again a couple more times.
I said, "I love you," and she said, "I'll come over tomorrow," and I said, "Okay." I was like, "Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow. I love you." And then she said, "Bye." And that was the last time I talked to my sister.
She didn't say too much to Mariah to alarm Mariah, to make her think that something was really wrong. She was just saying that, you know, she was at home and her boyfriend was just being annoying, and that was it. There was nothing else. She didn't really add anything else to the story. Mariah didn't really want to push Alexis into telling her things. They had a certain relationship, as she describes in the video. She felt that Alexis would eventually tell her what was wrong. She kind of just thought it was up to Alexis whether or not she wanted to give that information, and she kind of was just being there for Alexis as an aid.
It's crazy because this happened all when my family happened to come and visit, because, you know, it was like around Thanksgiving, so we're gonna get ready to celebrate for Thanksgiving. So my family had all come down while we were on Thanksgiving break.
The following day, Mariah is woken up by her aunt abruptly coming into her room with her grandma on the phone. Apparently, Alexis's grandma had heard the news from someone else that Alexis was dead, and she had been trying to get in contact with Alexis but hadn't had any success all night. So Mariah tries repeatedly to get in contact with Alexis, but she's not answering. Mariah finds that her parents are not home, so she is definitely freaking out with her aunt and her family, and everyone decides to go up the street to her aunt's house to see if they can talk with the cousin Andrew. Apparently, their cousin Andrew was the one who started to spread this news and relayed that same message to her grandmother. When they finally get a hold of him, he tells them that Alexis is in fact dead.
I said, "Andrew, no." And I just fell on the floor in the front yard, screaming and crying. This isn't real, this isn't real. I was just so shocked and so heartbroken. I didn't even like have time or like the courage to even ask, like, "Hey, why is she gone? How did she die?" It wasn't until, like, I want to say almost a week after she passed away that my mom finally sat down with me and said, "Mariah, she died from a stab wound." And my whole world just like shattered. I mean, it was already shattered, but it just like, it couldn't have gotten any worse. I said, what are you talking about? What do you mean a stab wound? Like, I didn't understand. And she said, the detectives are saying that suicide is being ruled out as one of like the reasons why she died. And I said, oh hell no. There's no way in hell my sister killed herself. My sister would never ever do that to herself.
The detectives rules her death accidental, but what really did happen that night? According to investigators and eyewitnesses, Alexis and her boyfriend went to Tilt-A-Kilt in Moreno Valley that night. One of Alexis' friends actually worked at the bar that they claimed to have gone to. She claims to have seen the couple arguing all night. It was unclear what the argument was actually about, but apparently it got so heated that the boyfriend decided to leave the bar and leave Alexis alone there. Alexis had a few glasses of water, and a couple hours later she was sober enough to actually go home. After Alexis left the bar, she began calling her boyfriend back to back, trying to get in contact with him, but he didn't answer. She went straight home. When she arrived home, her boyfriend still wasn't there, so she continued to just call and blow up his phone as much as possible. Apparently he had gone to the casino with his friends and just was ignoring her and wasn't picking up her calls because he was really upset. At this point is when she decided to call Mariah. This is when Mariah received that phone call at 10:30. According to the boyfriend, he arrived home approximately around 3 a.m. in the morning. He went up the stairs to the apartment, tried to get in, but was unable to get in because the door was padlocked. So he began to call Alexis, and after she didn't answer, he started to peer through the window to see if he could get a glimpse of her or what was going on inside. And he says that all that he saw was her phone kind of glowing and ringing and lighting up somewhere near the couch or on the couch in the living room. After numerous failed attempts of trying to get inside, trying to get in contact with her, he then decided to go down to his car, where he says he fell asleep for a few hours, woke up around 7 a.m. in the morning, got back up and decided to go back upstairs to see what was really going on. And he still is unable to get in. The door is still padlocked. He then decides to break in through the window. So once he breaks in through the window, he climbs inside. That is when he discovers Alexis's body lying on the floor with blood coming out of her mouth and a knife scattered near her body. Theory number one is that this was an accident. That is what the police ruled Alexis's death to be. I just find it so utterly ridiculous that she would like fall onto a knife, that I just don't think that ruling it an accident is possible. Theory number two is that it was suicide. Studies have shown that suicide by self-stabbing is uncommon, constituting in only 1 to 3% of suicide attempts. So this idea that she may have committed suicide by stabbing herself is a 1 to 3% chance, meaning almost rarely ever impossible. I find it absolutely absurd to believe that she stabbed herself, pulled out the knife, and tossed it across the floor before laying down to die. I really don't think that this is a suicide case. She told her sister she was going to see her the following day. She obviously was planning to live. So for me, all the signs point to this not being a suicide. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist or anything like that, so I can't tell you exactly, but just as far, this is my opinion. So if it was not an accident and Alexis did not harm herself, then who did? So that leads us to the last theory, which is theory number 3, that there was some sort of foul play. First thing we have to look at is motive. Who would have had the motive to hurt her? And obviously in this situation, we would have to look at the boyfriend. Alexis's boyfriend is not a suspect in this case. According to police, they are not making him a suspect in this case. This is just simply my thoughts, opinions, ideas, and theories. We know that they got into a heated argument that night. We don't know what it was about, but we know he was really upset, possibly enraged, so enraged that he left the bar and left Alexis there alone. Entrance security camera captures the boyfriend coming in at 3 a.m. So we know at least that part is true. But what about the rest of the time? 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. is a lot of time that is unaccounted for. No alibi, He claims to have been sleeping in his car. He did not show up to Alexis's funeral even after Mariah attempted to invite him personally. He still did not show up and he did not respond. He also got into a relationship 3 months later. If he had nothing to do with her death, then why not show up to her funeral? I mean, I know people mourn in their own ways, but really, we've seen this sort of behavior time and time again in cases similar to this. We saw it in the Chris Watts case. We saw it in the Kelsey Barris case. We've seen it in multiple cases where there's crimes of passion. They are very, very disconnected. Shame on the investigators who handled this case. They really dropped the ball here. What do you guys think? What are some of your theories? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you like videos like this, then check out my last video. I will leave a link on the screen right here for you to check out. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any of my future episodes, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.